Rami, in the last 11 months, your life has changed so much. What's the biggest change in your world?
It's funny. It's like you've been watching me or something. The biggest change, I'd have to say, the notoriety. I mean, living in New York now, getting stopped in the street it's crazy. You'll never get used to that. I mean, seeing my face on billboards and buses as they drive by, that's something that'll make you question where if you're in some sort of dream or reality. So that's a huge one.
Well, that fits well with your show then, because we don't know if that's a dream or reality half the time anyway.
Yeah, it's art imitating life for sure.
Your writers may take some notes from your own life.
Yeah, it's as if they can predict it sometimes.
Well, tell us, I mean, I always believe on any show, especially a successful one, the second season tells the whole journey, because not in terms of the story, but I'm saying the first season, you never know what exactly you've got, but a second season, you all regroup and you come up with new ideas and you hope that the show gets even better and better. So now that you've shot a few of the episodes of the second season, what are you feeling?
You know, yeah, after that first season, there's this immense amount of pressure, because people responded to it in the way that they did. And, there's a bit of a monkey on your back going into season 2. But, as soon as we stepped on set, there was this overwhelming confidence. It was like a well-oiled machine. Everybody, they just come with their A game from every aspect. Photography, from the music, from all the actors, and especially Sam and the writing. It's very different from the first season. He's brought in the story quite a bit. We deal with the fallout from season 1. What's cool about this season is that we did something so drastic when we first stepped on the scene, and now it's time to deal with the repercussions of that. So it's interesting to infuse like so many characters with this ability to do something so powerful, and now have them kind of sit with the consequences of their actions and have to live with that. And you'll see all of that play out in season 2 in a really intricate formula that Sam has created. It's a great story. When I first read all these episodes, I was like, are you sure about this, man? It felt that different to me. But now that we're I'd say almost 3/4 of the way shooting it, it's as good or even better than the first season, in my opinion.
Did they ask for any input from you before they wrote second season?
Did they ask? He and I we're pretty thick as thieves, the two of us, Sam and I. So he always delivers information to me pretty quickly, and if I have any thoughts, he takes everything into consideration. And we went back and forth on a few things, and ultimately, I saw the light, as it were. And with him, he's got a magical brain, and so when you really have to second guess yourself rather than second guessing him.
That's a nice way of saying he always talks you into whatever he wants to do.
He doesn't, it's like with him, you got to lawyer up. I mean, if you can't present him with concrete facts and ideas as to why you want to change something, not just for the sake of, I don't really feel this. I mean, he doesn't respond, I'm not really feeling that, You got to justify it. And if it's justified, he's very open to change. And he did. We talked about stuff. He heard my notes. At one point, he brought me into the writer's room to share my notes with everybody. That's not something I think a lot of showrunners do. And I don't know if he wanted to put me on the spot, or he was tired, or maybe tired of listening to me. And he's like, let somebody else deal with this guy's nonsense.
Oh, I know what he was thinking. He was thinking, okay, Mr. Big Deal, you come in the writer's room. We're gonna show you what really goes on.
Yeah. Well, I got pretty passionate in there.
Okay. Well, I heard like months ago from somebody at USA that Sam was going to direct this entire season. And he only directed, I guess, 1 or 2 last season. So how has that been different for the whole gang?
He directed 3 last season, and I think everyone enjoys it. There's no middleman that comes in, and as talented as every director is that was working on season 1, no one understands the story and his vision the way he does. So I think sometimes in the editing room, you know, there were some adaptations that weren't, you know, I think something that he wasn't as comfortable with as that he wanted from the onset, his own vision, and now he gets to build it, you know, right from square one out there. He doesn't have to, you know, every take to him is important. It's his. He sets out with his vision for it and executes it, and that saves us a lot of time. And we have a great shorthand back and forth. I mean, the amount of time Sam and I take, and Christian and all of the actors for that matter, getting through scenes has been narrowed quite a bit compared to last season. So it's I mean, it's as creative a machine as you could call that, you know.
Well, you'll be back on USA mid-July, so as we tape this, we're a good 5 weeks away. Is there anything at all you can tease about this season that won't get you into too much trouble?
You know, I would say that our network used to have some qualms with calling our show dark, but it is dark. It goes to some even darker places than it did the first season. I will say that there were some surprises last year, and we never sought to shock people for the purpose of shocking them. Nothing was done without purpose. And in this season, I feel like the surprises come more from what these characters are capable of. That's more of where the shock evolves this season, is just seeing what these characters that you feel you've gotten to know very well might have up their sleeve. So you know, just reading it, I remember for the first time he pitched me the story, he goes, you ready to hear everything? And I went into my bathroom because it was a quiet place. And I remember just having moments of pause and laughter and shock as well. And I just knew it was going to be special. And it's turned out to be live up to those initial expectations. I can't wait for people to see it and hear the response. July 13th, USA.
Yeah. You know, that's for shows like yours that are very plot oriented, very spoiler oriented. I always wonder about just that mentality of hanging on to those secrets in your mind all those months, waiting for the fans to get to see it.
I mean, there's been days when I haven't even got on the phone to share some of my notes with Sam, or I'm that paranoid now that I might even call him from a landline somewhere sometimes, or see if I can find a random New York payphone to use. And if I'm close, I'll do that. I'm not so paranoid that you know, I go to those lengths every day. But I'm often saying, wow, you know, I'm questioning my method of communication every time I talk about this show.
Hey, don't become this character now.
No, I'm not. I have much more fun than Elliot does. Look at my shirt.
There you go. Well, you know, when you talked to our Tom O'Neill last November, it was before any awards ever kicked in. And I was going to write down a few to talk to you about, but my hand got tired. I got them on the screen here, though. The show has won or been nominated for so many awards since January. I want to talk about a couple of them. Golden Globe night, Christian wins. You're nominated. And the show wins Best Drama. I mean, what was that like?
It was... I mean, it's a phenomenal experience. Just, I remember sitting at home and getting awoken, you know, to a bunch of phone calls that I got the nomination in the first place. The show got the nomination. Christian did. That's an absolute shock for a guy who's wanted to act his whole life. You know, and to be considered among guys, you know, like Spacey and Ham and all these talented actors. And the ones that have gone before me, it's nuts. It's just a a really special, humbling experience. And then to be there on that night, like, you know, I tried just not to push myself too much champagne because I didn't want to forget what it was all going to feel like. That got a little bit difficult after you win the best show. It's pretty much party time after that. But
oh, when the show wins, you got to have a good time.
Oh, forget about it. It was over. I think I did Ellen the next day, and I was just trying to keep from shaking because I probably hadn't slept at all.
And then at Critics' Choice, all those same wins, but you get to go on stage yourself and
yeah. Yeah, look, if the show wins or Christian wins, anybody, anything, it's all of us. I mean, everybody puts everything into this, and that's the way I look at it. But Critics' Choice, yeah, I got to go up there and represent everybody again as well. And, you know, it's great, especially from the critics, to get that kind of recognition. I mean, you guys write about everything, you see everything. So to win that was an incredibly special experience. I know the effort that goes into everything you guys write about and talk about. So it is beyond me how you do everything you guys do, but to get that recognition is, yeah, it's something that's very dear to me and I'm very proud of, I got to say.
Well, I tell you, with so many shows and so many outlets now, when the critics do rally behind somebody or a show, I mean, it can mean so much just to break through all of the noise.
Yeah. I mean, look, when we shot this pilot, I thought, whoa, this is cool. I mean, even just reading it, I was like, this thing has something to say. And that's what I look for in every script that I'm reading. And then when we started actually filming in New York, I could tell we had something special on our hands. It really felt palpable shooting that this was going to be good. Did I think that anyone would respond this way? No. I thought, you know, this was going to fall into cult territory, and maybe one day down the line, people would be like, whoa, that show was ahead of its time. But to have this type of exposure and to have, you know, critics rally behind it in a way where, you know, it can be easy to not like something because of all the content that's out there. So when you do find something that resonates the way this does with just viewers and critics alike, it's pretty profound. I mean, I couldn't ask to be a part of a better project, film or television.
Well, I hope this is not a coincidence, but the Emmy nominations are announced the day after your second season debut. They're announced on July 14th. So I'm hoping that, and I think a lot of your fans, a lot of the show fans, this is a place at the Emmys where so many of your, not only the cast and Sam and the show, but a lot of your behind the scenes people that work so hard can be nominated at the Emmys.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Sam about that the other day. Like, it would be, we've gotten this great recognition, and boy, you know, would we, you know, be honored to have that an Emmy nomination in any category as well. But for some of these people that, you know, don't always get the same recognition, Todd Campbell, obviously, cinematographer, has done a phenomenal job. The guy is brilliant too, and I don't, you know, not often does he get the recognition that he deserves. Matt Quayle, our composer, is terrific. So many people, and even Sam, you know, for, you know, he'll be recognized, of course, for directing, you know, considered, I think, for writing and it being his show, of course. But as a director, I think, you know, the guy's second to none. I mean, I'd go to bat with that guy any day. So, yeah, he's they're all extremely talented people, and going to work with you know, a force like that is you know, sounds cliche, but it is a dream.
Well, if you yourself get nominated, you know, you've got to pick an episode from that first season to submit to the Emmy judges. Have you thought about which one you might select?
I've not. That's a good question. Why don't I pose that question to some of your viewers and listeners for Gold Derby?
I will. We have a lot of very smart people, and we can ask them to put that in the comments section. I can forward that on to your reps. I would say the main thing to consider when you're a dramatic actor on a dramatic show, I mean, you're really looking for three things. You're looking for an episode where you've got screen time. And obviously, as the lead, you've got screen time in just about every episode. Although you'd be surprised sometimes, very smart people don't pick episodes where they've got a lot of screen time. You want range. You want to really, be doing lots of different kinds of things in the episode, and you want impact. So to me, I think you either want to do a pilot. Whenever you got a pilot, that's always a good. When you're in a first season, you got a pilot. That's usually a good one to think about because just you may be reaching out and asking for an Emmy voter to look at you that has never even seen the show. So a pilot is designed to be a very good experience for a first-time viewer. But in your case, though, you come so unraveled toward the end of the season that I'm wondering if the range part might come better into play, somewhere along toward the end.
That's a good question. I do love the pilot. I think there's a bit of range in there as we were talking about my performance, but maybe episode 9 was cool for that too. I mean, that cemetery scene was a bit of hard work, so I'm pretty proud of that scene as well.
I'll give you one good example to think about when you're talking to your representation and all. Claire Danes on both of her Homeland wins. I don't know if you've watched Homeland, especially in the early seasons, but she's bipolar. In most episodes, you don't really see that very much. But both times she won, she chose episodes where the bipolar was like in full force, which is a good thing from an acting standpoint, because it really, you've seen that over the years at the Oscars and Emmys and so forth, where somebody that's either got something wrong with them mentally, or they're sick, or they're on drugs, or they're on pills, or those kind of things really can showcase an actor.
Yeah. Huh. Food for thought. I'm going to give it some thought right now, and
okay.
I'd like to hear what your audience has to say as well.
Well, we will ask them to do that in the comments area, and we'll forward that on to you. And you got 6 or 7 weeks. You don't have to make that decision right now.
All right. I don't know. I feel like I've been asked this question and may have submitted something already, but who knows? We'll see.
Well, even if you have, you can always change it. I think you've got like 10 days after the nominations where you can make changes
there you go.
Or submissions. So
we get a nomination first, I guess.
That's right. Don't jinx it.
Yeah.
Listen, so great to talk to you. We were very excited about season 2, and good luck with all of the nominations and such. And appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, man. Always. And tell everyone over there I said hi. Tom, Rob, everybody. Appreciate it.
We sure will.
All right.